so much for joining me on another episode of Espresso Entrepreneur, the podcast where we dive a little bit into entrepreneurs, their lives, their business, and also their beverage of choice. So I'm super excited to be joined by my guest today. Deirdre, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to kind of sharing what you do because you're kind of like a different guest, I think I would say, that I've had previously. So I think this will be a fun one. I think this will be definitely something new I'll learn. So thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, do you want to kind of just kick off and tell me a little bit, and kind of share your story and your journey and how you got here?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Deirdre Bird, and I am the CEO and founder of DRI. We are working to protect our oceans from the ocean plastic crisis by creating a line of rain umbrellas, eco-friendly and durable umbrellas that are made from recycled ocean-bound plastic. So we officially launched last April 2023 via Kickstarter. We had a very successful Kickstarter campaign, which was wonderful, raised close to $30,000, order of over 700 umbrellas.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was an incredible experience. It was wonderful to see the reception that we've gotten and yeah, just understanding and really seeing that people are willing to put their dollars behind the purchases and make a real impact voting with
Definitely.
their dollars.
Yeah. Well, I know when we connected, I think last week. Sorry, time is always escaping me, but we had a great conversation and you shared that, you personally, and I know this is absolutely the same for me, is we're so much more willing to put a few more dollars towards something we really believe in. And of course, like when the quality's there and when the mission is there, I know I'm so happy to support something like that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are. Really, the goal with DRI, of course, tackling the ocean plastic crisis, but another component of it is really just to show everybody that sustainability can be easy. I think a lot of people, with climate change being such a massive issue, plastic pollution being such a massive issue, it's totally understandable that people really get paralyzed into inaction,
Mm.
to just thinking there really isn't a way for them to have an impact. But DRI's kind of ethos and message on top of plastic pollution is really that we can make decisions as individuals that have impact on these problems. And that, we shouldn't be paralyzed into that inaction, like, the eco anxiety that runs rampant, because we can make choices and that will have positive impacts on the problem. So.
Definitely. And I know, I want to say even kind of more recently, a lot of people have kind of, like you mentioned, being kind of fear mongering into an action, like, oh, we're already there. We can't do anything. We'd have to do so much, so much, so much, so much, to offset anything. And then I think that really does scare people into going like, oh, well, there's nothing I can do anymore. And I don't think, that's true at all. And the more that we have that mindset, the more that it's just going to become true anyway, the more that you go, oh, well, I don't need to be sustainable, I don't care, or it's not going to do anything. Well, then the more that all of those headlines are just going to become true anyways. So I'm so glad that you're putting so much passion and energy behind something that we need anyway. I live in Florida. We are just kind of exiting now our rainy season, and it's a lot, and having a good strong umbrella that also is great for the environment is a big thing that a lot of people up and down our coast need.
Yeah, I figured it's a very utilitarian product that, I mean, it's a common consumer product, right? So many people own at least one, but very few
Right.
know the company that made it and have any sort of semblance of brand loyalty. So it felt like a good product to kind of give an environmental facelift to,
Definitely.
especially
Yeah.
as so many end up in landfills every year because they're poor quality and they snap and break and God only knows what else. You get soaked when you buy one from a drugstore and you're able to use it once or twice before it snaps.
Yeah.
Especially in the inclement Florida weather, it's really tough.
We get so much wind, like our wind is so strong for obvious reasons. So like I think 90% of the time the umbrella goes from like this to like this, and you're just like, okay, that defeats the purpose. Now it's like holding the water instead of taking it away. Now I just have like a little pool of water, and we don't want that right now. I'd love for you to share because this is an amazing journey that you're going on, and you're pursuing. Is there anything that you've learned that maybe you didn't realize you were going to learn? Any lessons like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing I really learned in building this is you go in with a specific mindset. I'm going to build a more eco-friendly umbrella, a more sustainable umbrella. But along the way, you learn so much. I learned so much about business. I've learned so much about just the environment and climate change and just kind of the world that we live in, and how easy it is to make those small and incremental changes that truly have an impact. And then there's this whole other side of business that you can choose to make it a force for good via your supply chain and making sure that there are fair wages and safe working conditions, and really making sure that not only are you addressing the social problem that your product kind of tackles via the material it's made out of, but you're able to kind of have this much larger human rights impact. DRI, for example, we gather plastic from the beaches, coastlines, rivers, streams, and we have local community members in predominantly Southeast Asia where it's the vast majority of the plastic flows into the ocean from.
Wow.
So we're able to pay those workers who typically have lower levels of education, fair wages to gather that plastic. A lot of them are females who are, trying to support their families and give as much financially as they're able to. So it feels great to, when you kind of go back to the very initial stages of the supply chain, kind of measure and see the impact you're having across multiple other issues and not just the social impact one that you strove to.
That's amazing to hear. It's so great to hear that you really thought about everything in every aspect of your business and not just like, oh, we're doing this, it's good. Because there are definitely a lot more like bigger brands, obviously. Like when we're small businesses, we can kind of control that, and that's really the beauty of it. But there are so many big box ones where they're like, oh, we're so sustainable. Then you look in and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I don't
More
know about that.
understood and exactly.
So that's so great to hear. Do you want to share just a little bit on how maybe people can find your product, learn a little bit more about your message, and learn a little bit more about what you guys are doing?
Sure. So we are dry underscore umbrellas on Instagram. We're spelled DRI with it has a little raindrop above. That was the
Oh,
whole concept of spelling it that way. But yeah, so it's dry underscore umbrellas on Instagram. And then www.dryumbrellas.com is our website where you can order and learn a little bit more about us.
perfect. So I'll make sure I have those links in the description in the show notes. People can click, copy and paste, check them all out a little bit easier. Would definitely recommend. Sounds like an amazing thing to go look at, especially because I know there's just so many people who could benefit from that. Even just like, let's say for an example, like maybe your heart isn't 1000% into that, into sustainability, which like it happens, right? But just having a good umbrella is so important, especially because I know so many of us that listen and watch are in Florida. We need it. That's all I gotta say. It was raining like crazy yesterday and now it's sunny. It happens. You could go out, it's so beautiful today, and then in 10 minutes it'll rain for like 20 minutes and then you're done. So you never know what's going on. You need to make sure you're prepared. Well, before I hop off, you, I had so much fun today learning about what you're doing, and you guys just have an amazing message, and you're going about it in the best way possible. So huge kudos, huge hats off to you. This has been an amazing thing for me to learn. But before I hop off, who is an entrepreneur that you would love to have coffee or whatever beverage of your choice with, that are alive, and why?
So it would, without second guess, be Sarah Blakely, the
Oh,
founder of Spanx, and
oh
now
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So she rolled out Spanx. Her story is just amazing overall. She started with like $5,000 in her little shoebox apartment, and she really has changed women's retail over the course of her career in building this business. And now she has built out this very interesting line of shoes that are basically sneakers but high heels, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna
So
have to research that.
yeah, it's SNEEX, so sneaks.
Oh,
So similar to
okay.
Spanx, but sneakers. So yeah,
That's
it's
so
really
cool.
cool. And she's just like such a pioneer and innovator and inventor. And so she's really inspirational to me. So I would say coffee. I would definitely say a glass of wine. She seems like a blast. So either of those, I'm all in for. Any beverage that she wants to have with me, I will have with her.
That sounds amazing. Well, that's so cool. And I just want to highlight really quick before we hop off that, like, I think sometimes I know a lot of people who listen to this are business owners and they understand that 5,000 is not a lot, but I hope people really do understand that 5,000 to start a business, especially I want to say a product-based business or something that you have to develop, you have to go like invent. You have to do that. 5,000 is almost like a penny towards an ice cream cone, or like a penny towards a BMW Mercedes car. So that is an incredible lesson. I'm gonna have to learn more about. I didn't know that about her story, so I'll definitely have to check those out. And then sneaker high heels, I need to look into those 1,000%. So Deirdre, again, thank you so much for the time today. This has been just a total blast. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Macy. It's been wonderful.
Of course, and to everyone watching, I really appreciate you as well, and I will see you next time. Bye.